Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ocker Field as we are back with WCBN sports coverage of Michigan field hockey. I'm Kelin, Flynn. Alongside me, William Gregory, David Kraemer, and Kendall Spencer will be on for the second half. And we have a great matchup here. Sunny day on a Sunday in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines taking on the Cornell Big Red. And we are moments away from getting started here in Ann Arbor. Both teams have taken the field, and with that whistle, we are underway. The number 7 ranked Wolverines taking on the unranked Big Red as a whistle blows, and Michigan will gain possession here to get us started. It's Bryn Zarilla from the near side. Sends it back to Oliveros. Oliveros to Taylor. Claire Taylor down the far sideline. That pass is knocked up into the air and stolen by Cornell. Michigan gets it back into the middle, and it's sent over to Apula in the far corner. Whistle blows, and Cornell takes over.
Cornell 2-2 on the year. Michigan is 3-3, but they are ranked number 7. Those losses coming against good teams. Cornell in the Ivy League.
The Wolverines recently falling at home to Penn State, number 6 ranked team in the country, this Friday. WCBN Sports had simulcast coverage of that on 88.3 FM and over YouTube. Tough game for the Wolverines. Just unable to quite get enough pop on from the offense to stop the Nittany Lions. And with that, there's going to be a corner for Michigan with 13:49 to go in the first quarter. Michigan with a chance early.
Look for a pass to set up a shot in the middle. We've seen that a lot from the Wolverines so far this season, continuing from last year as well.
And Laura Clark will be the one to initiate for Michigan. Clark has it on the near hash. Clark sends it in. Apula sets up a shot for Tamer. Tamer's shot is blocked by a Cornell defender. That was Julia Darmo getting in the way there for Cornell. And a collision there sends one of the Big Red flying. Play on, though, is Zarilla able to poke that one away from Claire Jones. Cornell will take it from the side. Zarilla knocks that one out again. It's Meadow McGuire sending it over to Friedberg, Elizabeth Friedberg. And Michigan and Abby Tamer has a bit of a breakaway here, being pursued by Caroline Ramsey as Tamer hits the deck.
She got tripped. No foul called on that. Kind of surprising.
Cornell looking to push. Zarilla with tight defense on Claire Jones right in front of us here. Elizabeth Freeberg from right in front of the press box at about the 40. Zarilla with it. Zarilla over to Tamer. Tamer can't quite thread that pass through to Catherine Peterson, and it'll be taken by Cornell. That's Taylor with it. Taylor can't hold on to it. Nice stick work there from the Wolverines as Laura Clark with the poke and will advance the ball. Pass from Rosie Hope just out of the reach of Nina Apula, and Cornell takes over here with 12:04 to go.
Clark, the junior from Shaker Heights, one of the tenured starters on this Wolverine hockey team, or field hockey team, excuse me.
Laura Clark, the lone contributor in the score sheet on Friday for Michigan. Clark's been like you said, William, just a very steady player for this team all season. Rosie Hope with a nice poke there. Can't hold on to it. Cornell attacking into the shooting circle. Claire Jones goes along the baseline there, and that one is a missed opportunity for Cornell. The Wolverines, good defending there.
It was a nice job by Caroline Ramsey of Cornell to intercept a pass. She started that fast break opportunity to Claire Jones. Jones took it the rest of the way along the baseline. Got a good shot, couldn't get it on goal.
Tamer has it, sends it in to Pertek. Sarah Pertek with it into the shooting circle. And it's stolen by Cornell. And they'll elect to just send that one down the sideline. Bryn-Zarilla will take over right in front of the Cornell bench. Zarilla sends it across the field to Oliveros. Oliveros. Nice touch pass there to Apula. Back to Oliveros at the 50. Zarilla on the near side. Zarilla looking to attack to about the 25. Zarilla out to Laura Clark. Clark heading into the shooting circle. Nice stick work there from Laura Clark. Whistle blows and another corner opportunity for the Wolverines. With 10:13 to go, Wolverines with their second corner chance. And William, this is another opportunity for Michigan to get out to an early lead on a scrappy Cornell team.
Absolutely. In Michigan on these corners, they haven't had a ton of success this year, but it's definitely a way to get your offense jump-started in what's been a slower game starting for the Wolverines. I was at the last game with you, actually, against Central Michigan. They got out to a really fast start in that one. 4 goals in the first quarter, 5 in the first half. We've yet to see anything through 5 minutes, but here comes the corner.
Clark was the one to send it again. Tamer, nice move. Tamer with a nice slap shot in, and it's followed up. It looks like it was Laura Clark on the rebound. Laura Clark on that left side there. Got a nice pass from Tamer. Maybe it was a shot, bounced off. Clark able to finish that one in, sticking it in the back of the net, and the Wolverines take a 1-0 lead with 10:05 to go in the first. Great execution from Laura Clark.
And like I said, those corners are really easy opportunities to get easy flowing offense. That set gets a shot right for Tamer in front of the net. Deflects off a couple other players and goes in, but that corner was really the catalyst of that goal, obviously.
And the Wolverines continue to push here. Back to Zarilla. Zarilla sends it across to Taylor. Claire Taylor with it. Whistle blows, and it'll be Apula along the far sideline, just shy of midfield. Back to Taylor. Taylor sends it over to Oliveros. Oliveros over to Zarilla on the near side. Zarilla, middle of the field to Laura Clark. Clark, just shy of the 50, crosses over the 50, being pursued by a pair of big red defenders. Over to Apula on the far side. Apula into the shooting circle. Whistle blows, and it looks like there'll be yet another corner opportunity for Michigan. 9:13 to go, and Michigan's got their third corner.
We'll see if they do that middle shot again. From what I've seen from this field hockey team, they tend to alternate in between going from the wings of the circle or right from the middle. They haven't shot from an alternate corner, passing the ball over, but usually they'll stop the ball in the middle of the strike circle, and then a player will either pass it or take a shot from there.
And it's Laura Clark yet again who will be the one to initiate for Michigan. Shot there, and it bounces off the head of Clark. Clark was positioned well again for a rebound. That one just rebounded off of her head.
It looks like they're going to stay down there, shoot again.
Another chance for Michigan. 3 shots, their fourth corner opportunity. Very early into this one.
And another thing, they've just been dominating in the Cornell zone so far.
Clark fires it in. It's old Saturday here. Penn State winning 3-0 over the Big Red, and Clark will send it in yet again. This time it's Peterson. Peterson takes a shot. Nice save there by Aaron Park.
And that one just went out on the sideline, so it won't be another corner, but Michigan will retain.
Nina Pula with it. Stolen by Cornell.
Really nice defensive play to take that away from Apula.
Fired out of bounds along the far sideline. Big Red retained possession. A high arcing pass there, knocked down by Pilar Oliveros as a whistle blows, and Michigan will get to reset it here. Claire Taylor to Oliveros. Oliveros over to Bryn Zarilla. Zarilla just over midfield to Catherine Peterson. Peterson down to Pertek. Whistle blows, hit the back of Pertek's stick, and Cornell will take over inside of their own 25. Laura Clark off the sideline over to Rosie Hope. Rosie Hope tries to pass it into Apula. Tamer with it. Cornell with a chance here, and aggressive defending already for Michigan. They go right at Vivian Mueller as she starts it off there, and Cornell with a chance here. Great stick work from the Big Red as they push it all the way down the field inside the Michigan 25. Nina Apula able to rip that one away from Bridget Mahoney. Both teams battling here as Michigan gets possession. Pilar Oliveros in the middle of that defense where we typically see a Nuke Veen. It's Oliveros in there today. Bad pass from Peterson. Stolen by Cornell. The Big Red looking to push here. Antonia Packard can't quite hold on to that one, and Michigan looks to advance. Whistle blows. Cornell with possession. Caroline Ramsey just shy of the Michigan 25. Will be the one to get things going for Cornell. That pass is deflected and stolen by Abby Tamer. Tamer fires that one up the field. And it's Tina D'Angelo in hot pursuit. Unable to get there quite in time, but Bryn Zarilla will have a chance from the sideline just inside of midfield. High arcing pass. Can't find a Michigan recipient, but Zarilla able to steal a pass of her own right back. Rosie Hope can't quite get past the Cornell defense, but Apula able to clean that up, send it back to Taylor. Michigan advancing it.
Michigan's been very aggressive in their advancement. I think in previous games we'd see them content to kind of play pass back and forth in their end, but they've been very aggressive in getting it into the Big Red zone. Something interesting, Cornell's football team won yesterday 28-22. They went 2-8 last season. They were 2-touchdown underdogs and beat Virginia Military Institute.
Big weekend of athletics here for the Big Red. The field hockey team going to look to try to keep that hot streak going as they're down 1-0 to the Wolverines early. 4:50 to go here in the first quarter. Michigan from the far sideline. Pilar Oliveros with it just shy of midfield. Nice move there by Bryn Zarilla to skate by Claire Jones.
Got a collective ooh in the press box.
Pass inside to Apula. Isn't handled cleanly, but Bryn Zarilla able to clean it up. Tries to make some moves of her own. Zarilla pursued by Vivian Mueller. And an exchange here for the Wolverines as Serena Brimacombe will enter the game. Nice poke there from Claire Jones. Claire Jones will take it down the sideline. Brimacombe able to poke it, but it finds the stick of another Cornell player. Oliveros back to Brimacombe. Brimacombe Over to Claire Taylor. Taylor to Nina Apula on the far side. Apula defended by Natalie Stone. And Stone with some nice defense forces a turnover. Cornell pushing here. It's Olivia Friedberg sending it inside. Pass unable to be fielded by Bridget. Back to Oliveros. Oliveros still in her own striking circle. Bree McComb just past her own 25. Back to Oliveros. Wolverines just inching up the field, and there's an aggressive pass from Oliveros to Tina D'Angelo. D'Angelo sends it up the field there to Emmy Tran. Tran in the far corner. And the Wolverines, just like that, biding their time, able to advance it all the way down the field.
It's very rare in these games that we see a pass like that from Oliveros all the way downfield and get Michigan all the way in the Cornell end.
And that one is just slapped down the field, and it's struck well, and it'll travel all the way out towards the netting.
It's not often we see a hockey like icing either.
Now, most of the time that ball will trickle out the sideline. That one had quite a bit of force to it, and Cornell is able to flip the field, getting the Wolverines out of their end.
See, if I was playing, I'd try and do that every time. If there's no penalty to slap it all the way in the other end, why wouldn't you just keep doing that?
Doesn't slide quite as well as a puck on ice, but yeah, if you can make it happen, it's an effective strategy. That's a long pass in to Rosie Hope. Excuse me, Kate McLaughlin. McLaughlin sent that one over to Laura Clark as a whistle blows, and it'll be a Cornell ball. Avery Smith with it for the Big Red. She fires a pass to Grace Leahy, knifing through a pair of Wolverine defenders, sends a nice pass over into the striking circle for Meadow McGuire. McGuire can't quite get there. That was a prime opportunity, a great feed from Leahy.
Call yourself Irish and you can't even pronounce Leahy? Come on.
Nina Apula just past midfield, and Tina D'Angelo comes in and cleans that one up, fires a pass into Alana Richardson. Richardson defended well by Gabby Volpe. Great defense from Volpe, and Cornell takes over. Michigan takes over with about 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Zarilla inside to Apula. That pass a little bit too hot. And Cornell has it just shy of midfield. Stone sends it into the middle to Grace Leahy. Leahy fires an errant pass, stolen by Claire Taylor. Taylor just going to let the clock run out here. As the buzzer sounds to end the first quarter, Michigan up 1-0, 5 shots, 5 corners, 0 corners or shots for Cornell. And in that first quarter, William, obviously a couple of corners early give the Wolverines a chance on the offensive end. And defensively, that was as stout a performance as we've seen from the Wolverines so far this year.
Well, that first half of the second quarter was very, very good for the Wolverines on the offensive side. That's when they got most of their corners done, and that's when they scored their goal, was in the first half of the first quarter. But that second half, Cornell rebounded well. They put up a good fight. They continually get the ball down into the Michigan end and not just have Michigan stay in the Big Red's offensive zone. So I'm excited to see the second quarter. I think Cornell has been able to put up a fight, and we've seen the Wolverines struggle to score goals against other opponents so far this year. They only beat Miami of Ohio on September 8th, 1-0. And it seems Cornell has been a better opponent than Miami of Ohio, given that they didn't lose too badly to Penn State, who also beat Michigan. I'm excited to see the second half. The stick work and the passing has been very fun to watch.
Cardiac Health Day here at Ocker Field, handing out some fun little goodie bags, you could say, at the entrance of Ocker Field today to the grandstand.
I only saw the mannequins. I didn't see what else they were doing.
Exactly, yeah, they had a mannequin, a little CPR training. Beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. It was a little bit cooler during the week, but this weekend's heated right back up.
I'm sure the girls in the Big Red are happy that the weather's nice, because I was just in Ithaca area where Cornell is a couple weeks ago, and that whole area in upstate New York is amazing. And that's where Cornell plays most of their schedule. They play Colgate. Obviously, they play at home in Ithaca. They play Albany. But for the most part, they're staying in New York for the whole season. This trip to Michigan has been and will be their only trip out of the state of New York until October 21st, when they go to Providence, Rhode Island, and then they go to Harvard on October 29th. But other than that, they're staying in New York. So it's an interesting road trip for Cornell, and one that they'd like to maybe split if you're a Big Red fan, given that they lost here yesterday against Penn State.
The Wolverines, not quite as centrally located for their schedule. They're at Maryland this Friday, the 23rd, and then at Rutgers. Little trip out east for the Wolverines before they come back home October 2nd against Ball State. Underway here in the second quarter, Serena Brimacombe fires it back to Oliveros. Wolverines looking to keep that good momentum going here in the second. Cornell looking to turn the tide, and Julia Darmo is trying to start that off. Sends it over to Elizabeth Friedberg, but Emmy Tran stick in the passing lane there, able to knock it away, and Abby Tamer with an aggressive line to the net here, as that one just trickles out of bounds. Cornell takes over. Reese Coleman. Just a short pass to Ramsey. Ramsey gets that one poked away by Catherine Peterson. Oliveros over to Brimacombe. Brimacombe. Aggressive pass to the middle is stolen by Cornell. That was Julia Darmo sliding her stick in there to poke it out. Long pass over to Bridget Mahoney. Nina Apula defending. Forces a turnover. And Apula just does such a great job at forcing the issue with her stick when she's playing defense, and making the player she's guarding uncomfortable. Michigan continuing to work it into the Cornell zone. Oliveros sends it over to Brimacombe. Brimacombe, left side. Rosie Hope. Rosie Hope with some nice stick work there. Gets caught up with a Cornell defender, and Michigan with it inside of the Cornell 25. Cornell with a chance here. Nice move there by Olivia Friedberg. Put it through the legs of a Wolverine defender and continue to take it down the field. Rosie Hope, though, able to eventually catch up and stop the break.
It's been a continued theme all game where Cornell could make one nice move, but the Michigan back end is always there to stop any forward possession.
Apula on the far side. Apula to Abby Tamer. Tamer can't quite field that one cleanly as it slips out of bounds. Cornell will take over with 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Wolverines still dominating shots and corners, 5 apiece to nothing in both aspects for Cornell. Tough to put points up on the board when you can't get shots on net. Anna Speakers had a real easy day so far. The stalwart goalie for Michigan. Cornell with a chance here. Claire Jones taking it down the near sideline. Poked out of bounds. Olivia Friedberg will take over. Friedberg with another nice move on Laura Clark. Clark able to catch up and poke it away, though. Great defending from Clark. Clark to Tamer. Tamer fighting for it with a chance there to break away if she got possession. And Tamer, one of the most electric scorers for Michigan, with an errant pass there. You know, when you see Abby Tamer get possession with open field in front of her, she just has one thing on her mind, and that's getting right into that striking circle for a chance at a shot on net.
Well, she's just been so good. She puts so many shots out there. She's one of the few players on this Wolverine team that just isn't afraid to let it fly whenever she gets a chance. And that's why she's been closely guarded all day by Cornell.
Nina Pula in the far corner, taking it all the way down the field. And a little bit too far there as she steps out the back. I hope they'll say it's off of Cornell as Michigan takes over at the Cornell 25. Rosie Hope at the middle of the field. Hope over to Clark. Clark with a nice pass in there to Peterson. Peterson back out to Clark. Clark to Claire Taylor. Taylor over to Pertek. And Pertek's pass is knocked out of bounds. Michigan will take it far corner along the net line as Rosie Hope puts a defender on the ground into Apula. Apula whistle blows. And it'll be yet another corner opportunity for Michigan.
First one of the second quarter, Michigan. Like I said at the end of the first quarter, Cornell has just put up a better fight after that first goal was allowed. So this is really Michigan's first chance to make something happen outside of that first goal.
Sixth corner opportunity of the day for the Wolverines. The lone goal coming from Laura Clark. On a corner attempt, Clark fired it into Tamer. Tamer off the deflection. It's Clark cleaning it up, sticking it in the back of the net, right past Aaron Park. And Clark will send it in to Pertek, over to Tamer. Tamer with a shot, and Abby Tamer's shot is into the back of the net, wedging up in the back goalpost. Fantastic shot from Abby Tamer, and we just talked about it, how aggressive she is when she's in that striking circle. She has one thing on her mind, and that's putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's what she does right there.
She lets it fly. Whenever there's a chance for a shot, she lets it go, scores there. And normally, I mean, the last game I called, she had 3 goals on 10 shots. So she's not getting the normal amount of opportunities she's used to, but making the most of that shot there.
Abby Tamer, we talked about, one of the catalysts of this offensive engine for Michigan. Sticks that one in the top third of the net. And Aaron Park didn't really have a chance at that one. Might have been deflected, but it didn't matter. Oh, they'll actually credit that one to Pertek. It looked like it maybe bounced off of Pertek's stick. So Pertek will get credit for the goal. Like we talked about, that may have been deflected. Deflects off Pertek's stick, and she'll be credited with that one. 2-0 Michigan, both goals coming off of shots from Abby Tamer that were deflected or rebounded and finished off by the Wolverine teammates. Just anytime you've got the opportunity to put shots on net, good things can happen.
We've credited her with both assists, so Tamer will still get something in the stat sheet.
And with 8:20 to go here in the first half, Wolverines up 2-0. With possession now, Serena Brimacombe on the near side. Brimacombe over to Anderson. Anderson fires it to Tamer, but Tamer can't quite hold on there. And it's Cornell advancing it past midfield. That pass is easily stolen by Clark. Clark over to Rosie Hope. Rosie Hope to Apula on the far side. Apula slaps that one downfield, and it'll be deflected out of bounds by Cornell. And Intended that one for Sarah Pertek. Pertek with it in the corner. Has Kate McLaughlin and Katie Anderson with her. But Cornell able to hold strong there defensively. Takes over with 7:10 to go here in this first half. High arcing pass. Finds the stick of Claire Taylor for Michigan. And now it's Katie Anderson advancing for Michigan, back to Rosie Hope, over to Claire Taylor on the far side. Taylor just inside the Cornell 25 into the corner for Tamer. Tamer fires that one. And Tamer nearly put that one in.
Not sure why that wasn't called a goal. It looked like it went in. But it must only ricocheted off the post and gotten out.
Regardless, a fantastic look there from Abby Tamer as she continues to be aggressive.
We need the instant replay.
Because she was outside the shooting circle,
striking
circle. So that one won't count, but that pass a little bit too perfect.
They got to change that rule.
You think they should just be able to fire from?
Yeah. It's like, what if an NBA player made a full court shot and then it didn't count because he's not over half court? That I believe that any shot should count. Then you could have goalies scoring, just like hockey.
It's Rosie Hope in the corner for Michigan, able to knock it away from Cornell, but the Big Reds still attacking here as an errant pass is taken by Tina D'Angelo, and D'Angelo with some wheels will push here, 4-on-1. Tamer sprinting back for Michigan to try to give her teammate a passing option, as that one is stolen by Cornell, but it's Tran that gets it back for Michigan. Tran's pass unable to find the stick of Abby Tamer. 5:18 to go here in the half. Wolverines still up 2-0. Dominating shots on net and corner opportunities, 6 apiece. Cornell still 0 in both categories. And a substitution here for Michigan as Tamer will get a breather. And it's Alana Richardson stepping onto the field for Michigan. Richardson had a big game against Central Michigan off the bench, putting in a couple of goals of her own. Bryn Zarilla over to Laura Clark. Clark defended well by Bridget Mahoney as another whistle blows, and that one's in the striking circle. Michigan with their 7th corner chance with 4:33 to go in the half.
Michigan, the scoring chances have been few and far between so far in this second quarter, but they've made the most of their shots on goal. Both those assists going to Abby Tamer. Now she's off, so we'll see who can take the load of the scoring responsibility with Tamer on the bench. Talked about Richardson coming back out. She could see some action. Laura Clark already has a goal today off a ricochet. She could get a pass back. She's the one striking it in from the corner.
Clark initiating for Michigan. Sends it in. It's Oliveros who gets the chance here, and it's saved by Park.
Really, really nice save by Erin Park.
Good opportunity there for Michigan, but Oliveros' shot unable to find the back of the net. Erin Park got that big blocker down and knocked it out of bounds. Wolverines unable to convert on their 7th corner attempt. Still getting quality shots off on all these looks, though, which has to be something that head coach Marsha Pankratz really likes to see from her team.
Kate McLaughlin made a nice steal on that play to get Michigan another opportunity in the Cornell zone.
And Emmy Tran starts the Wolverine offense, firing it around. Oliveros able to track down the loose ball. Laura Clark inside to Tina D'Angelo. D'Angelo warded off by a pair of Cornell defenders, and she's unable to materialize anything. Nice defense there from the Big Red to slow down this Wolverine attack.
The Wolverine defense has been stifling in this second quarter. Cornell, unlike the back half of the first quarter, has not been able to sustain anything in the Wolverine zone. Michigan just living in the Big Red's house. And here they come back into the striking circle. Kate McLaughlin. Wide shot. Goes above the net.
Emmy Tran tracks that one down, keeping it in play for Michigan. Alana Richardson in the far corner. Nice stick work there. A couple of Cornell defenders on her. Wolverines with another chance here. 2:40 to go. And the Wolverines with 4 shots on goal. 2 goals coming from it. They're converting on 50% of their shots on net, and that's something that the coaching staff has to be really, really proud of today. They've made the most of their opportunities. Oliveros with it, sends it over to the far side for Stagg. Stagg up the field to Nina Apula. Apula down the sideline. Nina Apula. And she's knocked over by Reese Coleman. Whistle blows. Alana Richardson a little bit too excited to get that one going there. Stagg fires it over to Oliveros. Oliveros inside the 50. Sends it over to Zarilla. Zarilla. Pass just a little off target, but she's able to get it right back. McLaughlin can't quite hold on to that pass. And Peterson will reset it for Michigan inside the Cornell 25. Catherine Peterson. As another whistle blows, a lot of whistles in this as the half is winding down. That shot from Rosie Hope is deflected into the air. Alana Richardson tried to tip it up and in, and just a little bit too high as it heads over the net as Park watches it sail out of bounds. Cornell with under a minute to go, trying to get something going to cut into this Michigan lead before the half ends. Bryn Zarilla will be the one sending it in for Michigan. Zarilla to Oliveros. Oliveros over to Stagg. Lindsay Stagg back to Oliveros in her own striking circle. And that pass can't be held onto by Stagg. Stagg steals it right back, but that's a mistake there that could have proved costly, giving the Big Red an opportunity and keeping the ball in Michigan's zone. Rosie Hope just kind of taking it slow here for Michigan, trying to drain this clock as we're under 5 seconds. Rosie Hope takes it into the corner. As the buzzer sounds, Michigan keeping pace with a goal a quarter. Abby Tamer, the one initiating offensively for Michigan, but it's Laura Clark and it's Sarah Pertek, the ones that are credited with the goals in the stat sheet off of some deflections and rebounds. The Wolverines capitalize on their 7 corner attempts, putting 2 in for goals as they lead the Cornell Big Red 2-0 through 30 minutes of play here from Ocker Field in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about Cornell putting up more of a fight in that second quarter and back half of the first quarter, but the thing is that Michigan's defense is just too good, not allowing the Big Red to get many opportunities, if any, inside the Michigan zone. A whole lot of opportunities for the Wolverines offensively, however. A lot of corners, those 7 corners you mentioned, 9 shots. It's only a matter of time before Michigan could break this one open, and we'll see that in the second half.
Absolutely. Michigan, like you said, capitalizing on their opportunities and just kind of doing their job, doing what they need to do. That will do it for myself and William Gregory's coverage today. But WCBN will have coverage in the second half. David Kraemer and Kendall Spencer will be with you in the second half. We'll be taking about a 7-minute break here before we resume coverage in the second half. Score is 2-0 Michigan up on Cornell through 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second half of WCBN's broadcast of Michigan field hockey against Cornell. I'm Kendall Spencer, and alongside David Kraemer, I'm going to be bringing you the second half of this game that Michigan is currently winning 2-0. Just brief recap from that first half. Shots for Michigan, 9. Shots for Cornell, 0. David, what do the Wolverines need to do in the second half in order to take home a victory?
Well, it sounds simple, but they really need to just hold on to this lead. You know, field hockey is not like ice hockey. It tends to have a couple more goals every game, and we know that the Wolverines definitely struggled earlier in the weekend, especially in the Penn State game. But here with a 2-0 lead here at home, Ocker Field, the Wolverines need to just play some sound defense, and I could see them easily coming back and ending this game with a win.
I agree. The Wolverines, this would be great for momentum. As you mentioned, that Penn State game just, did not end the way that they wanted it to go. But both teams are coming out on the field now, doing little huddles and such before we start the game off here.
Yeah, pretty sizable crowd here. Definitely see lots of red. A bunch of fans representing the away team Cornell this afternoon here in sunny Ann Arbor. It is a beautiful day for field hockey, and I'm looking forward to seeing something that I'm looking forward to seeing now is kind of what Cornell's strategy is going to be. They weren't very forward with a lot of their offensive play, so I'm curious to see if they're going to get a little bit more aggressive.
Wolverines will start with possession. It'll be skied into the Cornell zone and recovered by Ramsey. Pass up the line intended for Claire Jones on Cornell is no good.
Something of a hit there, far side of the field. Elizabeth Friedberg from Cornell falling over.
Friedberg will put the ball in play. Got to give her required distance. Pass all the way upfield intended for Jones, but it's picked off. It's going to be Michigan possession, off to Anderson. Anderson looking to go through Cornell defenders to a pull-up, but it's deflected.
Definitely seeing that aggressive play from the Wolverines right out the gate. Cornell's already hemmed in their defensive zone.
Palde bringing it up, but it's going to be taken away from her by Taylor. Over to Hope. Hope will pass it across the field. End up back in the hands of Oliveros. Oliveros through 2 Cornell defenders to get to a Pula. Pula looked up the line to pass it to Anderson, but it's going to bounce out of bounds off a Cornell stick. Pass back to Oliveros to reset. Jones streaking manages to intercept a pass, and now it's going to be Cornell with possession in the Wolverine zone. Ran into a corner, though, and it'll go out of bounds on Michigan, so it'll be Cornell possession here. Inside the semicircle, first decent shot on goal for Cornell, but it'll be hit away by Speaker.
And for those just joining and tuning into this third period coverage, or this third quarter coverage of the Cornell Michigan Wolverines field hockey game, your scores this afternoon are Laura Clark for the Wolverines and Sarah Pertek as well. The score is 2-0 in favor of Michigan, the home team.
Still Cornell's possession. Shot attempt by Darmo, no good. Gonna bounce off the leg of a Wolverine. Fortunately, though, that means that it'll be Cornell's first corner in this game. This is a really good opportunity for them to try and put something on net, as they have been pretty silent offensively so far.
No, absolutely, and this is one of my favorite aspects of field hockey, just the exhilarating rush of these corner shots. There's nothing like it in most sports, maybe a little bit reminiscent of a corner kick in soccer, but with the speed of hockey or lacrosse, you don't generally see something, some may say dangerous, but we would say exciting here in the booth, and there's certainly a lot of excitement here in the stands this Sunday afternoon. Wolverines now looking to get defensively prepared for this first corner for Cornell.
Jones will insert it for Cornell. Outside of the semicircle, it comes to Great save by Speaker. She had to dive all
Incredible.
the way to the left to put a stick on that one. It was a good shot by Cornell, but Speaker was ready for it.
Really sound defensive play.
Cornell manages to get the ball back inside the semicircle, but it's going to be called out of bounds on Cornell, and it'll be Michigan possession, as Taylor will start with the ball. Taylor pass up the side to Apula. That's the near side. Apula looking to get it to Anderson, but it's going to bounce off a Cornell player who was not paying attention for Apula to go through. Unfortunately, it's knocked out of bounds by Apula.
Cornell looking to inbound now. Taking their time. But picked off by the Wolverines, who are still playing with really intense ferocity, trying to extend their lead to 3.
Laura Clark pass all the way up for Abby Tamer, who manages to keep it in play. Looking for an option inside the circle to number 16, McLaughlin.
Wow.
No goal there, but we'll get another corner for the Wolverines. Their 8th corner of the game.
Yeah, Aaron Park, the senior netminder for Cornell, really making a great defensive or a great athletic save on a very scary, very close goal-scoring attempt. We did see as well for the Wolverines a player fall.
It's going to be Laura Clark inserting as everyone gets set up. Insert to Anderson. Oliveros into Clark, bounces off somebody, and it'll be Cornell's possession to get out of the circle. Only barely, though, as Tamer tries to hit it back inside. Cornell knocks it out again, but it maintains Michigan possession. Reset inside. Hard shot by Clark, hits a Cornell player in the foot. She's down, but looks like she'll recover. And that'll be another corner.
Yeah, as we said before this second half started, the Wolverines are certainly looking to extend their lead. They had a very close loss against Penn State yesterday. It ended up being a 2-1 against number 7 ranked Penn State in Big Ten conference play, which was a game where they outshot
Clark's
their opponents.
insert ends in the hands of Abby Tamer over to a pool right in front of the net. That's Oliveros. Shot on goal by Clark, no good. It's going to be Michigan's ball, but far outside the semicircle at that first line this time.
Great saves by Park. Really keeping one of the only factors keeping Cornell in the game so far.
Little give and go to Tamer, but it's taken away from her by a Cornell defender. And it's going to be another corner. It's 3 corners in pretty quick succession for the Wolverines.
Yeah, they are not holding back whatsoever. Definitely had some conversations in the locker room looking to extend that lead, and we've seen some really great play from this team that's trying to make a bounce back off of that in-conference play loss yesterday here in Ann Arbor. But Park has been great this afternoon. I'm really impressed with the goalie here for Cornell.
Laura Clark will insert again here. Underrated position. Just got to add that in. Very important job. Comes to Apula. Anderson with the hard shot, picked off by a Cornell defender, almost put back in by Taylor, but it's deflected. And it's going to be taken all the way to the near corner by Ramsey.
Yeah,
for
good
Cornell.
defense. Good defense by that senior.
Pauly tries to get it out of the zone, but it winds up in the hands of Clark. Clark to Anderson, who gets inside the semicircle, has it taken away from her, and the stick is knocked entirely out of someone's hands there. That was McLaughlin. Comes to a pool at the semicircle, knocked out of bounds, and they're going to call another corner.
Wow, this has been nonstop corners. 11 now for Michigan. 11 corners so far this game, and 17 shots for the Wolverines. And for their opponents, Cornell, 1 corner and 2 shots. It has been nothing but Michigan.
11th time's the charm.
Yeah, certainly so. The fans here in the sunny side of Ocker Field are definitely looking for another goal.
Clark inserting here.
Whistle's blown.
Comes to Abby Tamer at the top. Hard shot, bounce off the pad of Park. Rolls outside the semicircle. And there's another corner.
Wow.
I think we're going to get stuck
Make that 12.
I think we're going to get stuck in an infinite loop of corners
Yes.
for the rest of the game, which is really good because I can just look literally right ahead of me for the whole
Yes.
time.
It's definitely easy on our necks.
Don't even have to look
not
downfield.
Not easy for Cornell's goalie. This defense is getting tired for sure.
I feel like I should stop saying Clark is inserting, but that's still what's happening. So.
Yep.
Oliveros in
Oh
the
my
Clark,
gosh.
almost rolls behind Park, but it's knocked out by a Cornell defender. Wide open in the semicircle there. Not a lot of room, but a shot attempt by Pertek is going to have her on her feet, and the ball is going to be out of bounds in the far corner on the right side. Bring it back inside. Tamer, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Cornell. It'll be Wolverines' ball outside the first line. It'll be hit all the way over to the near side of Taylor, but there's just too much on it. She couldn't recover. It'll be Cornell's ball in the right near corner.
Holding it on the line now.
That pass is into Ramsey. But
About
it hits off Ramsey's foot. It'll be Wolverine ball. They're going to look to get in the semicircle quickly. Tamer has it. Hard shot by Tamer. Oh, just misses on the left side of the goal post. Falling, backhanded, and still almost went in for Tamer.
Cornell is really hemmed in their own defensive end so far.
Coleman will start for Cornell here. Tries to pass it to
Excellent
Ramsey, but
interception.
picked off. A falling McLaughlin accidentally passes it into the hands of Cornell, where it's going to be knocked out of bounds by a big red player. Taylor has it on the near side of the semicircle, manages to get it in, but it's going to be taken away with Ramsey has it now. Ramsey dribbling around a few Michigan defenders before she's trapped. Has to pass it back into Mahoney. Mahoney almost has it taken away by Tamer. Tamer back. Mahoney back to Volpe. Volpe has it picked off. Apula has it now. Trying to get it inside the semicircle. And Apula does. Long shot by Apula. The rebound attempt by Clark is no good. It's not Clark, that's Pertek, my mistake. Wolverines have 21 shots here in this game so far. Coleman, once again, will try and get the ball out of her own zone. Cornell, long pass. Intended for Ramsey is no good.
And that's the first time we've seen that ball cross the midline in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Wolverines playing pass in their own zone, but it's going to be picked away by Paldi for back in the hands of the Wolverines.
Really great tic-tac-toe play by Michigan, but
Wolverines
was
lose it.
unsuccessful.
Friedberg taking it up. Pass over to Paldi. A little bit of a collision between Paldi and Taylor. Which is going to result in a corner for Cornell.
Yeah, the second corner for Cornell with about 6 minutes, 11 seconds left in this quarter. The shots for Cornell are equal to their corners. They have 2 of each in a quarter, at least from what I've seen, Kendall, where they have been completely inactive in the offensive zone. And so they started the quarter with a shot with the corner. They're going to now arrive at around the midpoint, just a little bit after the midpoint, looking to get a goal, get themselves back in this field hockey game.
Their last offensive attempt was stifled by a great save by Speaker, as it'll be Jones inserting for Cornell Big Red.
Lots of anticipation here.
The shot by Ramsey is no good, but looks like she's on the ground in some pain.
Yeah, there's a whistle right after that shot. Went just to the right of the net. Stoppage of play here as the audience claps, hoping the player is okay. There's definitely some communication with the referee as the stoppage of play is going to continue. Some discussion here now that we see on the sideline with the referees and the coaching staff of both teams.
Be a timeout here as the Wolverines will stay on the field as Cornell will come off for the moment being, just to give them a breather and check up probably on Ramsey, who was the injured player on that play. Looks good. Does not look like she's too banged up.
Yeah. This is the first stoppage of play that we've seen this quarter so far. Not a ton of offensive action or not a lot of goal scoring, but the Wolverines are completely dominating in the shots department and the corners department. 21 shots for the University of Michigan, 12 corners as well for this team that is, as we have said, the storyline this afternoon is trying to bounce back after a close loss yesterday. Just to give everyone a little bit of coverage on that Penn State game, the Penn State Nittany Lions, which are 1-0 in Big Ten play and 5-1 overall, scored their goals in the final minutes of the first and second quarters, and were able to score off of a penalty corner on the first penalty corner of that game, and went into the halftime leading the Wolverines 1-0. The Wolverines ended up tying and evening the score, but were beaten 2-1 despite out shooting and out cornering them 23-3 in shots and 10-1 in corners.
Just a really unfortunate result in that last game because the Wolverines' offense was, in it. They way outscored their opponent, but not all of the shots were probably the best they could have been, and also a great game by Penn State goalie Baracco to
absolutely
keep the Penn State Nittany Lions just ahead of the Wolverines in the standings, hoping to maybe gain back some ground with a solid win today.
Yeah, scoring the lone goal for the Wolverines yesterday was Laura Clark, Jr. out of Shaker Heights, Ohio, who also has a goal this afternoon on 4 shots in 35 minutes of play. Only second to Pilar Oliveros and Nina Apula, who have been playing exceptionally well. I would say Apula's game in particular has stood out as she has been dominating this near side of the field with some outstanding defensive play in addition to some really great shot selection. Hasn't been able to convert on any of those shots.
There'll be another
or
corner
passes, but yes.
Cornell.
Yeah, we will see the third corner now of this game as we have 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in this third quarter of the Wolverines matchup against Cornell.
Jones will insert it. So everyone gets set up and the whistle blows. Shot by Ramsey. Tipped out by another good save by Speaker. So it'll hit off her leg and go past the right goal post.
Yeah, they've been shooting there all day, Kendall. But can't score if you don't hit the net. As that ball goes out of bounds, Wolverines are going to collect it on the far side, heading into now the offensive zone. Well, not after that turnover.
And it'll be Friedberg for Cornell. Tries to get the ball back into the Wolverine zone, but it'll be called on the Wolverines. Up to Anderson. Anderson looking to pass a Pula. Pula on the near side. 2 defenders on her. Pass back to Taylor. Taylor back up to Anderson. Anderson over to a Pula on the near side. Trying to bring it inside the semicircle. Puts a nice little almost spin move, but gets the pass. Nice pass inside.
Excellent pass.
To Catherine Peterson. Go out of bounds.
13th corner of the game for the Wolverines. Oh, I may stand corrected. Yep. We were correct. The 13th corner for the Wolverines, who, again, like last game, dominating in the shots department. But as we wait for this corner to come back.
Once again, Clark inserting for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and Aaron Park, the netminder, the senior netminder for Cornell, has just been put under a lot of stress.
So she's the reason that her team is still in this game.
Absolutely. She's been outstanding.
Shot by Oliveros, going to bounce off of the Cornell stick and roll all the way out of bounds. So it'll stay Wolverine possession with Hope at the first line into Anderson. Anderson around Friedberg. Almost loses it, bounces off her foot.
A little conversation with the referee.
Ramsey skies it. It's going to be turnover. Give it back to the Wolverines. Taylor has it near midfield. Up to Tran. Tran's pass inside, meant for a Pula, but it'll be turned over to Cornell as that ball is going to go straight out of bounds. Unsure who the pass was intended for there. Hope has it at the first line. Bounces high up off Taylor's stick and recovered by Cornell. But the pass attempt to Stone is no good and will be taken away by Oliveros. Clark has it on the far sideline, just bringing it up past midfield.
She has been all over this game.
Passes up to Richardson. Richardson gets tangled up in another player's legs, her skill, lose her stick. But Apula recovers it just in front of the semicircle before it's taken away by Cornell and handed over to Stone. Stone across for Friedberg. Friedberg up, pass intended for Packard, no good, it'll roll out of bounds.
Yeah, almost a really good pass, but Cornell's definitely keeping that momentum. They have a higher sense of urgency than we have seen so far this game.
It'll stay Cornell possession on the first line, the far sideline in the Wolverine zone.
Yeah, just about 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter of this field hockey game.
Looking to get something set up, but the ball's taken away. And the pass up for Tamer is intercepted, but she manages to recover it and pass it over to Tran on the near side.
Yeah, great collection.
Tran makes her girl miss. Keeps going through 2 defenders for D'Angelo. D'Angelo has it knocked away, though, into the hands of Smith. Smith trying to get around D'Angelo. Mahoney comes up to help, but knocks the ball out of bounds. Pass into Tran. Too much on it, bounces off her stick. Cornell has it, but Pulo pick away a pass. Up to Zarilla. Zarilla over to the far sideline. The pass for Laura Clark will be recovered. A little dribble up on her stick, and that'll be another corner for the Wolverines. It's getting repetitive. I'm sorry.
It certainly is, but there is that is definitely the theme of this field hockey game is Wolverines shooting countless opportunities to increase their goal total this afternoon, but just being unable to convert. Some really sound defensive play from Cornell. It's one of the only highlights of this game from their side of the field, as they have really been hemmed in their own zone the entire afternoon, as it is not a high-scoring game here in Ann Arbor. Not a high-scoring weekend either, as we see this play return.
Clark will kick things off. Comes to Trent. Shot by Oliveros. Bounces off the goal.
Great
Covered
save.
by D'Angelo. Her shot's going to hit off a Cornell stick. It's outside the semicircle now. But play's still going into Zarilla. Zarilla around Stone. Going to pass it up to Stagg. Stagg over. It'll be back to Stagg just at midfield. Over to Tran on the near sideline, as the Cornell defenders will take this moment to take off their gloves, or at least some of them will. McLaughlin's hard pass attempt picked off, but the pass by Cornell to Stone is picked off by Zarilla. Zarilla loses it, regains it, and will be inside the semicircle. Hard shot, just misses on the near side of the goal.
That was a really great shot. Just wide.
Ramsey will start it. Pass up to Smith. Has both McLaughlin and Richardson on her, and she'll lose it. Comes to D'Angelo. McLaughlin hits it out of the air and almost manages to get a shot on, but Park will come out and prevent that from happening.
Yeah, just about 10 seconds left here in this quarter.
You're going to hit it
The
around
clock
as
is
it comes
dying minutes, dying seconds now.
to Coleman. Coleman back over to Ramsey, who's going to get one last lift off before the buzzer. At the end of the third quarter, our score remains Michigan 2, Cornell 0. Shots 25-4 in favor of the Wolverines.
Wow. Corners 14-3, also in favor of the Wolverines. Not a ton to be said. As our listeners can tell, it has been an all Michigan game, but without the goals that are associated with this amount of shots. This amount of shots. I think we cannot say enough, or commend enough the strength that Erin Park has demonstrated, the netminder for Cornell, as she's really been the sole reason that they have stayed in this game. I also will say Caroline Ramsey, the senior out of New Vernon, New Jersey, has also been a really defining factor of the defensive skill and the lack of goals that the Wolverines have seen throughout this last quarter. Kendall, what would you have to say about any players that have really caught your eye this afternoon?
Well,
despite the lack of
Cornell,
goals.
For Cornell, I mean, I can't. What I've got to say is pretty much all you've said, which is that Erin Park is playing phenomenally.
Yeah.
Absolutely the sole reason that her team is still in this game. And then also, I guess my two compliments were also for Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
But I will give a shout out to number 10, Claire Jones, the fifth-year forward, as she's also been heavily involved in this game.
Yeah, Friedberg's had some good passes as well. Friedberg, the forward, who has been playing now in the third quarter at least, she had some really good passing opportunities, pass selections, you could say. Her teammates weren't able to collect those, but there could have been some really good opportunities for a breakaway. And who knows? On a one-on-one with the goalie, anything can happen, even with the talent that the Wolverines have in net. And now that we see the dying seconds of this intermission, we're coming into this fourth quarter goalless in the third, but with the score, the Wolverines have 2, Cornell 0. Hoping for a little bit more offensive action beyond just shots and corners. Any final thoughts, Kendall, before you retake the mic?
They had a decent offensive attempt on one of their corners, but there was just a brilliant save by Abby Speaker. And there's been multiple brilliant saves by Speaker. That one where she was diving to the left, basically in the splits on another one. So even when Cornell does finally have a corner or an offensive chance, she puts a stop to it pretty quickly here.
Absolutely. Play resumes now.
It'll be skied into the Cornell zone and recovered by Coleman. Coleman pass up to Wolf, but it's lost, and the Wolverines recover it. Shot by Pertek inside the semicircle is knocked away by Park. Be Cornell ball.
Yeah, Ramsey really taking charge as one of the captains as well on Cornell.
Knocked out of bounds up the line, but it maintains Cornell possession. That'll be Friedberg with it.
A good interception from the Wolverines.
Oh my God, I did this last game. There were 2 Friedbergs. Last time there were 2 Reeses. I haven't noticed. Okay, that's for later. Anderson has it now on the near sideline. Knocked out of her feet by Leahy, but recovered. It'll maintain Michigan possession. Anderson tripped up a little bit, but no whistle. Zapula fights for it. Whistle now, and it'll be Cornell's ball. Mahoney starts with it.
Yeah, Pula's been excellent on that defensive forward play. But now we see Cornell coming back, maybe trying to get something happening, but taken away by the Wolverines.
Peterson with it up to Clark. Clark tries to send it into the semicircle, no good, but it maintains Michigan possession. Clark has it at the top of the semicircle now, dribbles inside, puts a hard shot on it, kicked away by Park. Comes over to Taylor on the near sideline. Taylor trying to get around Leahy. Knocked out of bounds.
Some good passing play. Looking for some some better shot selection as the Cornell has.
Pertek in pass right in front of the net, but neither Apula nor McLaughlin can get a stick on it. Knocked all the way up the line by Mahoney. It might even roll out of bounds on the far side. And it will roll all the way up and out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
Wolverines ball in their own zone, back to Oliveros right in front of the net. Oliveros over to Zarilla, who puts a nice spin move on Jones. Get ball up to midfield and to Peterson. Peterson up to McLaughlin. McLaughlin works past a girl into Pertek. Pertek kicked away by Park again. Number 18, which is a Friedberg, will send it up sideline. Taylor can't quite keep control of it, so Oliveros has to come help her out.
Yeah, just about 12 minutes now left in this field hockey game.
Up the line to McLaughlin. McLaughlin keep it inbounds. Trying to work around Coleman. Up to Taylor. Taylor works it around her defender. Back to McLaughlin. Knocks it into the legs of Coleman. Apula has it. Up to Taylor. Taylor over to Hope. Hope across to Clark, but it'll hit up off Clark's stick and out of bounds.
Just like last quarter, Cornell really struggling to make any moves to generate any offense or anything beyond getting straight up hemmed into their defensive end. Every opportunity that they have to get that ball out and into the Wolverines' defensive side of the field is just snuffed by some really excellent defensive play, especially by the forwards for Michigan.
The ball out of bounds on the near side, but it's Michigan's possession as Apula looking for an open girl. That's Taylor. Her pass gets all the way inside the semicircle before rolling out on the far sideline. It's going to be I don't know whose ball
Stoppage
this is
of play
be.
now.
I think there's some confusion about whose possession this is, and it's going to be Michigan's. After some deliberation, as both a Michigan and Cornell player went to that far corner.
Play resumes now as Wolverines hold on to the ball.
Up to Zarilla. Zarilla across to Oliveros. Oliveros looking at Taylor on the near sideline. Knocks up and off her stick and rolls out of bounds as Peterson couldn't get there in time to recover it. Darmo passes it up. to Wolf, but it's picked off by Peterson. Peterson over to Clark. Inside the semicircle. High shot, batted away by Park. Out of bounds. Be Wolverines' ball, and Zarilla will start it up at the far sideline. Pass back to Oliveros.
Officially 10 minutes now left in this quarter.
Shot in is going to be deflected off of McLaughlin's stick and out of bounds. So this time it'll be a Cornell ball. It'll be Ramsey starting it. Ramsey up to Friedberg. Friedberg to Stone. Stone's pass will hit off a Wolverine and be recovered by Zarilla, who passes it up to Tamer. Tamer tips it ahead to be collected by Peterson, who manages to get there in time. Comes inside the semicircle, tries to put it up over the stick of Ramsey. Doesn't quite work. But there will be a corner.
First corner of this quarter, bringing the count to 15 for the Michigan Wolverines. Their shots, also so many more than Cornell's, 28. Now on the other side, for Cornell, 3 corners and 4 shots. Maybe the Wolverines will get another goal with this opportunity, as they have continued to snuff any significant offensive movement for Cornell throughout this quarter. Again, 9 minutes and 6 seconds left. Play resumes.
Clark inserts the ball up to Apula. Over to Peterson, shot bounce off of a Cornell player and rolls out of bounds. Be Wolverine possession. Peterson will take it on the far sideline into Apula. Apula passes it all the way back to about midfield to Oliveros. Oliveros' pass will be to the near sideline to Brimacombe. Back up to Oliveros, picked off but recovered by Rosie Hope. Hope back to Oliveros, Oliveros across to Zarilla. Up into Cornell's zone for Pertek, but it's batted away by Friedberg. Manages to recover it before it goes out of bounds, as now it's kind of stuck with Pertek there, but it'll hit off Pertek, they say. And it'll be Ramsey trying to get her team out of her zone. Skies one all the way across half, knocked out of air by McLaughlin, but it'll come into Cornell hands anyway, as it's Leahy with it now, working through Zarilla and Tamer.
This could be that offensive opportunity Cornell's been looking for this whole second half.
Be recovered by the Wolverines. Pass up to Peterson.
And as quickly as it happens, it gets snuffed out. Wolverines, some sound defense.
Apula has it about midfield now. Across to Clark. Inside the semicircle, it's going to be batted out by Coleman, it seems, as Clark is going to start with it on the far side of the field.
7 minutes remaining in the last quarter of this field hockey game. Wolverines
She
up
sends
2.
it back to Oliveros. Or to Brimacombe. Back in for McLaughlin, who trips. And is recovered by Ramsey. Ramsey on the near sideline with both Apula and Richardson on her. Whistle blows. Ramsey has it again. She skies one all the way into the Wolverine zone, but it's batted out of air by Oliveros and recovered by Zarilla to prevent Cornell from regaining possession. It's going to be hit up the near line, out of bounds. It'll be Michigan ball. Oliveros has it inside the semicircle now. Zarilla all the way upfield for Anderson. Anderson working directly against Mahoney. Stone comes in to help now, but Anderson manages to get past both of them. inside the semicircle, up to a Pula. Pula tries to hit it back, but it's going to be taken away by Cornell. Zarilla recovers the long pass. Knocks it back inside. Anderson has it. Hard shot by Anderson. And the deflection by D'Angelo to give Michigan their first goal in the second half. What a great play.
Wow. Michigan 3, Cornell 0. What an absolutely fantastic play. The Wolverines were definitely looking for that breakthrough. Kendall, it wasn't going to happen from a corner. It was going to happen on some fast-paced play.
Why else would there be 15 corners if not for them to get their goal? Just not on a corner.
Yeah, on their 30th shot of the game.
The initial shot by Anderson was good, but the deflection by D'Angelo just over Park was even better, as freshman Jane McNally is going to come in for Cornell at goal. Give Park probably some time to breathe and their freshmen some experience. And fun fact, I actually know Jane, so shout out to her.
Yeah, great job.
Cornell has it in the Michigan zone. Darmo bringing it inside. But it'll be a battle between McLaughlin and a Cornell player. And it seems like McLaughlin comes away with it as it's knocked out of bounds, potentially by Jones coming over to help. So it looks like they'll be backing up for this to be Wolverines' ball. Oliveros has it inside Michigan's semicircle. Up the near side, up the far sideline, all the way over midfield. Anderson with it now. Anderson will take it herself, it seems, all the way into the semicircle, with Ramsey finally coming over to try and stop that. Hit out of her hands, but given over to Zarilla. Hope recovers it. Passes it up the line for Clark, who loses it, but it's recovered by the Wolverines again. Zarilla, long pass all the way over to the near sideline as it tries to make its way up into Richardson, knocked out of bounds. Brimacombe bring it inside, pass over midfield again to Oliveros.
Great vision by Brimacombe, by the way, on a really jumpy pass that she managed to hold on to.
Out of bounds on the Wolverines. Hit up the line by Friedberg, but it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be Wolverines' ball.
Yeah, just about 4 minutes left here in this field hockey game. Wolverines lead Cornell 3-0.
Cornell trying to keep the Wolverines out of their zone almost more than they're trying to actually score here in this game.
Great analysis. I completely agree.
Brimacombe has it up to Emmy Tran. He's going to work past Rogalski. Puts a nice spin move on there. Still struggling, though. Rogalski playing really tight, so the pass back up to Stagg, but it'll go off Stagg's stick and out of bounds. Cornell trying to get something going with very limited time left in this game. Going to need about a goal per minute here.
Yeah, it feels like both teams woke up after that third goal for the Wolverines. It's got a lot faster paced here with not much game left.
Coleman launches it into the Wolverine zone. It'll be Wolverine's ball. Stagg over to Oliveros. Oliveros over to Zarilla on the far sideline. Soft
strikes.
pass up to Tran, but manages to get it. Streaking Friedberg comes up to try and knock it away, but it's no good. Now the Wolverines have it inside Cornell's zone. D'Angelo, the most recent goal scorer, working with it. Almost knocked out of bounds, but recovered by Friedberg to the other Friedberg. Ramsey with it. Launches one over half. Attempt by Hope to keep it in half doesn't work, but Sorrell recovers it, and the Wolverines maintain their possession in Cornell's zone.
Passing the 2.5 minute mark.
Bowman has it. Working all the way inside the semicircle before it's taken away by Rogalski. Recovered by Richardson before it can go out of bounds, but almost knocked out of Richardson's hands. It maintains Michigan possession, though, after a whistle. A little scrappy between Richardson and Coleman. but
Yeah.
the Cornell will come away with it. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in this game. Ramsey looking for an option. Once again, long pass. This one won't be knocked out of air by Emmy Tran, but she does try it. Friedberg hits it with the wrong side of her stick and loses possession. It'll be the Wolverines on the far sideline. Pass into Pertek, center of the field. Up to Stagg. Stagg into Richardson. Richardson tries to lift it over the stick of the Cornell player. Doesn't work, but maintains possession.
Yeah, a minute and a half remaining. Wolverines are looking to get one last goal to finish up this game.
Trying to play keep away with it, but it'll get knocked out of bounds. Stays outside the semicircle. A little bit of a hard hit, looking for a call as Cornell, but none will come. Emmy Tran almost makes a brilliant goal, but it's just going to go a little too far as the goalie had fallen down and she had the net wide open. Under a minute remaining here. Ramsey taking her time. Looks like she was going to really try and launch one, but ends up carrying out a little bit herself and then sending a very soft pass up to Paldi.
30-second mark, just about there.
Taken away by the Wolverines here. And then taken away from the Wolverines.
20 seconds remaining.
Ramsey will come all the way up to that first line for the Wolverines. Long shot, going to go out of bounds on the left side of the goal. Speaker didn't even really need to get over for that one.
Yeah, this game is all but done, Kendall.
And as we count down the final seconds, it looks like Michigan will beat Cornell 3-0. As there's the buzzer. Just an all-around domination from the Wolverines in pretty much every aspect of this game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I would completely agree. The Wolverines, although it may not have been the most exciting game, low scoring, predominantly some defensive play from both teams. Certainly Cornell, the Wolverines needed this win. And it seems to be part of a growing theme of their team this season. Maybe not the highest scoring, definitely high shooting, but looking for better shot selection, better opportunities, because corners, at least the strategy that they've been playing for corners, has not gotten them many results. Going forward, definitely some really good play by the netminder. I want to give a shout out to Speaker, who is getting a shutout, the fifth-year senior from Berlin, Germany. And other than that, Kendall, really exciting game. Really happy to see Wolverines play an Ivy League opponent here in Ocker Field on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in sunny Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Just for a recap, the goal scorers were Clark, D'Angelo, and Pertek. It's been a great game, great covering this with you. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been WCBN Sports. We'll see you again really soon. Good afternoon, and go Blue.